The business of operations management is difficult, particularly in large enterprises like banking, insurance, and other services companies with teams of hundreds and thousands around the globe. Now add in recent pandemic forcing the workplace to change forever. Managers and employees are under immense pressure to get work done, while also finding ways to balance performance and well-being. The complexity is building, and it can be difficult to find the answers. This podcast, AO On Air, partnered with Active Ops, is designed to help identify areas that will help employees, managers, and senior leaders find solutions to the challenges within operations management. The future of work will take all departments, such as HR, IT, and Ops, aligned along with a steady dose of innovation to succeed. We'll bring you topics, thought leadership, and simple plans to help lead your teams into the future of work. A hybrid work world that will learn from one another and truly act globally, breaking down the silos of older management models for new ways of working. Welcome to the journey. Now let's begin.
Hello and welcome to AO On Air. My name is Michael Cups. I'm your host today, a podcast sponsored by Active Ops. Today's guest you may have seen before or listened to before. Spencer O'Leary is CEO of North America for Active Ops. We're glad to have you here. I understand you're in Toronto today, so welcome back.
Hi, Michael. I'm the other side of the border. I'm experiencing the very cold weather that we've suddenly got up here in Toronto.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll talk about why you're in Toronto maybe as we wrap up the discussion today, but welcome back. So I wanted to mention this is kind of the SWPP version of our podcast because we have a big group of people that are going to descend on Nashville next week for the SWPP conference. Could you just tell us, kind of why we're excited to be there?
Yes, SWPP is an organisation we've recently started working with, and we absolutely recognise most of our customers have got members inside that SWPP community. We work with a lot of professional planners who have really professionalised the art of forecasting, planning, and conducting their workforce management capability. Most of them have perfected that across their call centre operations, their voice operations, and we're hoping to introduce that community to the world of Active Ops and the world of doing that for the back office and for case management areas of their businesses.
That's great. So why don't we start there? Well, so call centers, I think we all know what those are, and we all know the importance of answering the phone when it rings to attend to if you're a small business or what have you. But what's the difference? What's the primary differences between call centers and back office?
So we think about some of the technology fundamentals that are quite different, and then the operational fundamentals that are quite different. So technology, first of all, most call centers today have invested heavily in technology, which means they have one source of work that comes down a phone line, and that source of work is pretty electronically distributed to each and every individual employee. So having a way to collect that sort of single source of data, put that into my workforce management system, and then use an element of queuing theory. Most people would know about Erlang C that works in that particular world, but being able to simulate queuing theory, load in some variables like average handling time, an expected or a desired wait time, and a level of attainment, level of service attainment, then those workforce management solutions can really start to optimize that environment. As we move to the back office, those technical challenges kind of go up by probably a factor of 10. So most back office environments have got multiple systems, multiple processes, multiple activities, multiple sources of work, and all of the work's generally not electronic. A lot of organizations still working from maybe email, still electronic, but then they start moving to paper. Even faxes, most think they're a thing of the past, but they're not. They're still processed quite heavily within particularly financial services. So we have those sort of technical challenges. In terms of operational challenges, we also find that rather than answering an average of 85% of calls in 15 seconds or whatever my grade of service is in a call center, back offices tend to stretch that time horizon. So it's measured in a service attainment of days. For some, it's weeks, and those longer duration service levels just make the whole act of workforce management. It's more variable, it's harder to do, and we're going to help people do it more effectively.
Yeah, excellent. So both voice and non-voice, if we call it that, or call center and back office, whatever we want to refer to it as, maybe it's what the customer refers to it as, but what's the importance of planning? So this is a conference about planning. So what's the importance and the drawbacks of getting it right, getting it wrong?
So I think planning's always been important. So I can understand or predict what's going to happen in the future. I can see what the demand of work is, and hopefully I can match that with a supply of resource, and that enables me to deliver the right outcome for the customer. So that's always been important and has always been hard to do. That's why people invest in technology like Active Ops, and they invest in expertise like the members of SWPP to do it well. So if it wasn't hard enough to do that in 2017, 18, 19, early 2020 introduced a whole bunch of other variables that have made the act of planning even harder. So if I want to provide the right level of resource to deal with the demand of my customers to deliver the right customer outcome, then it's always been hard, but generally in my contact center, I had some flexibility of when I could ask people to work and when I needed them available. The same in the back office. If we think of the variables I've now got to deal with today, I've got people working from home. They maybe are a different level of productivity or output when they work from home versus the office. They maybe work different hours. They maybe still work 6 or 7 hours a day, but they do it over maybe a 12-hour period. Working in the morning before I take the kids to school, working through the day, having another break to pick the kids up, and then working in the evening. So these sort of different consequences of people working from home or working from the office, or for some in between the two, it's just made that act of being able to manage my workforce and match this supply and demand, the demand of my customers and the supply of my resource. Workforce managers get that as accurate as they can, which means delivering the greatest services is hopefully delivering the right outcome for the customer.
Excellent. Good description of planning. So as we look ahead, maybe it's not just for SWPP, but we hear about artificial intelligence and machine learning. Where do you think the opportunities are for this technology in this whole planning and forecasting trade, if you will?
So at Active Ops, we call our solution helping people with management process automation, MPA. And what we mean by MPA is taking some of the manual administrative things either an operations manager or a workforce manager needs to do every day, and trying to automate that so they can spend more of their time making decisions, executing those decisions, and hopefully coaching the workforce in terms of their performance. So in any business today, and anyone who's listening that's trying to do workforce management across their back office, our experience says that a lot of the management time is taken doing quite administrative, mundane functions of measurement, data aggregation, trying to turn that data into insight, trying to produce a forecast of how much work next week, forecast productivity next week, forecast how much resource I'm going to next week. And all of these things are trying to come together, and it's got a high level of human interaction needed to get to that. So our MPA solution at Active Ops is dramatically reducing that amount of administrative effort. It's aggregating data automatically. It's using past work volumes and past levels of performance, together with some machine learning, to produce a very accurate and efficient forecast for next week. It's automatically creating resource plans. And now suddenly, as a workforce manager or an ops manager, I can look at all of my teams or all of my departments. I can see how much work I'm going to get next week, how much resource I need, how much resource I've got, and I can make some pretty immediate decisions about moving resource or work in my business so I can optimize performance.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I saw a press release recently about the Insights and Innovation Lab, which is basically experimenting with, I think it's the University of Reading and the Innovate UK, and they're finding some great things about, like, even just identifying tasks and metrics around that.
Yeah, I think it's really exciting, and for those analysts and with a more analytical mind that's listening to this, we all know that one way of predicting the future is to look at the past. The problem when you do that is there's certain variables in the past that you can't always see. So using machine learning really starts to help us try different algorithms on past data sets and compare those forecasts to actual, and start to have the machine teach itself about what the best mechanism is for predicting the future. The more accurately we can predict the future, certainly it doesn't give us the answer, but it sets us up so that when we execute our decisions, make and execute our decisions, we start to find a better outcome.
Excellent. Well, exciting things ahead, and it's relevant to SWPP because of the discipline around planning. So what are you looking forward to in Nashville? Is there anything in particular you're hoping to see and hear?
Well, other than the highlights of being in Nashville for a few days and hearing all the delights that I'm sure we will there, I'm really excited to get some feedback from our colleagues in SWPP and the members of SWPP about not only the challenges of good workforce management outside the call centre, but also some of the challenges that the last couple of years and probably the next couple of years are going to bring to that particular industry. I think there's a real opportunity now for organisations to invest in technology, invest in the skills and competencies of those who create central plans and then go and execute those plans locally in the operation. And I think this can make a real difference over the next couple of years.
Excellent. And I understand our friend and colleague Santosh is going to do a session with TD Bank. Any insights on or highlights of what they may talk about?
Yeah, we got a great use case from our customer TD Bank. They've been using our solution for a number of years and have really shown that if you've got the right visibility of historic data, you've got the right competencies and skills within your management team, they're going to show how they have excelled through COVID and even through the strains and trials and tribulations we've all heard about of organizations getting hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands of people to effectively work from home. As they start to come back to the office, they're really going to showcase how they've used the Active Ops solution to delight their customers, attain service, and even improve productivity right through the COVID period.
Oh, that's awesome. And I look forward to seeing and hearing that from TD Bank and Santosh as well. And people have the opportunity to stop by our booth and visit with some of our staff and team members as well. So as far as after the session, but tonight I wanted to, we mentioned you're in Toronto. So what's going on in Toronto? I understand you're going to try to up the Oscars, huh?
We are going to up the Oscars. We're going to sort of play out the incident, the showcase of moments happened in the last few days. But yes, we're here in Toronto. We're doing the Active Ops Excellence Awards. We're going to showcase a couple of customers who have really excelled over the past year and used our solution, we think, to best effects. We did the same in London a few weeks ago. We had award winners from Allianz and from Allied Irish Bank, who again had excelled over the past months and years in using our solution. We're doing the same in various global locations. As you say, tonight we're doing that in Toronto. It's not just for our Canadian customers. We've got some US customers as well. Things have still not settled down this side of the pond, whether it be north or south of that Canadian border. So strangely, we've traveled to Toronto, but we're still doing tonight's award ceremony virtually. We've got a number of people who are going to be joining us over the internet. We're even doing some mixology cocktail mixing to try and not only keep people entertained, but lubricate them before we get onto the formalities of the evening.
That's perfect. Sounds like a good evening, and it sounds like it's well deserved for those that are nominated and win the awards. So we look forward to hearing more about that. So that's it. Anything else you would like to say to the teams?
No, I think, well, other than those that are at SWPP in a few weeks, or next week it is actually, just do come and see us, talk to us about some of the challenges you've not only faced while you've been trying to do your workforce management across that COVID. Just talk to us about how we think we can help you as we go forward. Have a look at what we've been doing with our machine learning capability. I think it's going to be a really exciting time for everyone who's there.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Spencer, as always, for joining us. Even if you did fly across the border to call in to see us instead of visiting with us in the studio. For those watching or listening, please do check out activeops.com. You can find a plethora of case studies, videos, use cases, etc. on our website. We would love to talk to you, so fill out a form and we'll get somebody in touch with you as we all look for embracing the change that's now post-pandemic and what workforce planning means in the future. So thanks again and take care.
At ActiveOps, we call it Management Process Automation, or MPA. MPA helps managers make better decisions by providing a consistent, easy-to-understand view of capacity and productivity. MPA does the hard work of consolidating information, forecasting and planning, and even gives you visibility of skills and capabilities across your enterprise. Your managers can make decisions based on a complete picture of their operations and then get back to leading. As work progresses, MPA helps managers spot problems early and deal with them proactively, celebrate successes properly, and match resource to workload in real time. By making managers more effective, MPA reduces operational costs. Best of all, the right MPA tools make it possible to deliver all these benefits across global enterprises with thousands of employees. Solutions like Workware Plus from ActiveOps, Workwear Plus builds on our 20 years of experience supporting service operations to give you a 360-degree view of your operations, helping you turn operations management from a guessing game into a game-changing source of efficiency and value. Employees are empowered to manage their days and weeks feeling accomplished, confident, and able to balance work and personal life. Wherever your organisation or customers live and work, ActiveOps is ready to help you deliver world-class service and employee engagement to help your company thrive. ActiveOps. See further, know more, move faster.